My name is Dr. Preethi Ramadoss, and I'm the inventor of the world's fastest biodegradable sanitary napkin. And also, I run a business which is herbal skincare products called Maniti. I'm a proprietor of this company. So let me start my talk. It'll be quite different from, it's not the usual success story or like what you've heard before. It'll be very different. I promise I'm not going to disappoint you. So usually when people talk about how their journey was, they say, dream big, have big ambitions. But in my case, it was not true. I never had a dream in my life. I never had an ambition until I turned 28. So, literally, until I joined my PhD, I never had any big dreams or ambitions. So, to start with my early life, I'll say that when I was 12 years old, for example, when people asked me what I would become when I grow up, I would have said probably I want to become a doctor, as many of us would have told. But when I turned 15, if somebody asked me the same question, I would have told probably an interior designer, because my brother was doing his architecture at that point of time. So each year this kept changing, I never had a stable dream or ambition as such. Then I finished my master's. That was a research-based master's. And moved on to do my PhD because I was not very sure of my career after my research-based master's. So in the year 2015, I joined my PhD. At that point of time, I was old enough and matured enough, and I had a lot of a compassion towards environment, and with prior experience in research that I gained through my master's, that was biopolymer. I was working on biopolymers in master's itself. So I stuck on to this topic, and when I joined my PhD, my proposal was biodegradable sanitary napkin. So this is the proposal that I submitted to the university when I joined my PhD. Back then in 2015, it was not a very trendy topic, and there weren't many biodegradable sanitary napkins in the market as such. Also, there wasn't much of research going on in this field at that point of time. Yeah, so how relevant my talk will be with this element of tenet is, let me start with the relevance. Here, there is one normal person leading a normal life. This is that person. And there's this change maker. Okay? So how do you go from this to this? This is what I'm going to talk about. So when I say normal person and this change maker, to get here, all you have to do is ask yourself questions. Question yourself whys and why nots. These are the two very important questions that you have to ask yourself. Only then you will start searching for answers for your questions that make you from a normal person to a change maker. Okay, so this is the connect. And I'll start with my story of research, how this was born and how my other research topics and what are the other topics that I worked on. So when I said I joined in the year 2015 for my PhD with this proposal, I had no idea how I'm going to do this. It was just an idea. Because I wanted to change. I had a question inside me, why plastic napkins? Why so much of pollution? So I wanted, in search of that, I came up with this proposal. But again, it was just a proposal, it was only in paper. I had no idea how I'm going to achieve this. Uh, in 2015, when I joined PhD, I never had a fellowship also. I worked without fellowship, without funds for 2.5 years almost. I practically applied for all the kind of fellowships and all funding opportunities in our country. But to sheer disappointments, I never got anything. Until 2017, I was offered the highest paid research grant for this particular project. And I was very happy. Thank you. And thus, from then onwards, my research career took off in a real fast pace, because once you have money, everything is possible. To get the raw materials that were required for my research and to get the equipments for my research, it was easier, much easier. So then I started working very, very hard. And for that, even I was working from the beginning, from 2015. So, coming to how this particular product was born, I started working on the middle layer. It consists of 3 different layers. The sanitary napkin has 3 different layers. The top and the bottom layers are the same, which are hydrophobic. And the top layer has holes in it to let your fluids flow through. And the middle layer is a super absorbing polymer mixed with natural fibers. So, by the way, this is patented, and the patent has been granted in the year 2020 as well. So, it is a complete product. So, I started working on the middle layer. It was very, very difficult task. In 2015 itself, I started working on the middle layer, and that took 2 complete years for me to arrive at this middle super absorbing layer. So the important key points of this napkin is, the highlights of the napkin is that it is soil degradable within 15 days. And that's why it's called the world's fastest degradable sanitary napkin. So it degrades inside the soil within 15 days. And the second point is that it increases the soil's nitrogen by 20% after degrading. And the third one is that the napkin consists of antibacterial and antifungal herbal extracts that I have incorporated into the materials that I have prepared. So the top layer that comes in contact with the skin directly consists of turmeric, vetiver, and neem extracts, when the middle layer consists of lemon extracts. And the middle layer, that is the super absorbing layer, can absorb up to 1,700% of its own weight of fluids. Meaning, if a napkin is weighing 10 grams, it can absorb fluids of 170 grams. So it is very absorbing, and zero chemicals, zero plastics, and zero toxicity for the atmosphere as well as for our soil, and very compatible to the skin, human skin as well. So when I started my research in 2015, I started with zero resources and zero laboratory facilities, but ended my research in the year 2021 with a fully equipped laboratory that is necessary for any biopolymer scientist, with the funds that were allotted to me. And to get there, it was an immense task. I had to go through a lot of challenges, innumerable challenges to get there. The challenges were personal as well as professional, which most of the scientists would have faced in their life. And I'm not any different from that. The challenges, why I faced so much of difficulties, can be summarized with just 3 points. First, as I said, I'm a woman. I'm a woman scientist. That is one important point. The second one is that, as I already said, I was offered the highest paid research grant for this topic. The third one is that I'm working on a complete product. I'm trying to deliver a product to this world. So you don't need more reasons to hate a woman than this. But I love to be hated for these reasons. And that's how this research journey started. And this is not the only topic that I worked on during my PhD research. I would like to take you through a series of inventions, other inventions that I made too along with this in 5 years of PhD. My entire PhD lasted for 5 years, and I'll take you through the other products that are in the line of this. The second product is biodegradable sweat-based glucose sensor. This is again biodegradable and it degrades in soil within 15 days. So this can detect your blood glucose level from your sweat. So it is non-invasive as well. And this addresses a large medical waste problem which arises through the lancets that are used for glucometers and associated health risks. So this addresses that problem. And I'll just tell a little bit about the statistics of the sanitary napkin pollution in this country. The waste generated through sanitary napkins and diapers alone in India annually constitutes up to 3.4 lakh tons every year, only in India. Then imagine about this pollution globally. So, this addresses the medical waste problem, and my biodegradable sanitary addresses the larger problem, larger pollution. So, I always wanted to work on biodegradable, eco-friendly materials because I have been trained for the last 12 years in the field of biopolymers. So with the knowledge I gained during my master's itself, all I wanted to do was, implement my knowledge and my capability to do something for this environment as a biopolymer scientist. So this is the least I could do from my side. So I was always working on eco-friendly products to replace plastics, as well as I wanted to replace animal products and animal trials that were usually the protocol in every experiments. Most of our experiments involved animal trial products. So I made sure that I work to replace these. So when it came to the experiment where I have to test my materials with human cells in laboratory, to grow the human cells in laboratory, we biotechnology scientists usually use fetal bovine serum. And then again I asked why. Why kill a pregnant cow to grow your human cells in laboratory? There should be an alternative. So I figured out an alternative. Everything has a solution, everything has an alternative. Only if you search for it, you'll get it. So that's what I did. So I used human blood serum in the place of fetal bovine serum, where a pregnant cow is killed and its serum is used for growing your cells in the laboratory. So I did my part there. And my another invention, this biodegradable glucose sensor also has been patented, and it is awaiting to hit the market along with the sanitary napkin through my industry. It is awaiting for funds. So the another, I didn't stop here. The research continued. And I invented biodegradable water purification membrane as well. And another invention was on blood mimicking cellulose fluid carrying iron oxide nanoparticles that is used for cancer treatment. And the last invention was, you know, the stitches, right? Suture materials that are used for dental sutures as well as on your skin and inside your organs when surgeries happen. Usually, the sutures that are used externally are the doctor will call you for another sitting to get your sutures removed, uh, or they will give you a resorbable suture. In some cases, resorbable sutures are an animal product, which is the cat gut. The gut of a cat is used for making resorbable sutures. And I wanted to replace that. Then again, I asked myself, why kill an animal for your own benefit? So I worked on replacing a bioresorbable suture material with a plant-based solution. I mean, the plant-based polymer, which is cellulose. So my last invention was on bioresorbable, cellulose-based, antibiotic-loaded suture material in the place of cat gut. This suture material will dissolve into your human system within 45 days by sustainably releasing the drug, antibiotic drug, so that it will keep you free from infections, bacterial infections, while your wound is healing. So these are my inventions that I just talked about. And now I'll say a little bit about what I learned through my research. In the 5 years, and including my master's research, that was totally 10 years of research, what I learned was learning. One thing that was very constant in my life was learning. I chose to learn, and until I started the research on cancer, I had no idea about cancer. I didn't know anything about cancer until then, but I learned it. And water purification membranes and the water purification techniques were totally alien to me until I started this project on water purification membrane. So I learned it, and so is the suture material and everything. So every topic that I did in my PhD resulted in a complete product, and all my chapters in my PhD thesis is a complete product, you know. And this required a lot of research, and I learned each one of them with a lot of conviction and a lot of passion. I love learning, and that's the only thing that is constant in life. You know, you can choose your path. See, when I said in the beginning of this speech that, you know, I didn't have a dream, I didn't have an ambition. It's okay to not have a dream or ambition. And even if you do have a dream and ambition, attaining your dream and ambition should not be your ambition. The path that you choose, the journey you embark on to reach your goal is more important than your destination. You know, that's what your integrity is determined from your values, your principles, your ethics, and morals. Don't lose your morals, principles, ethics on your way to reach destination. So be very consistent, hold on to your principles no matter what, and how many different kind of hurdles and obstructions you faced during your journey. You should never leave your principles. That's more important in life than reaching success. Being successful is not everything. How good a person you are after being successful or after reaching your goal is what determines you. So this is what I have learned during this entire journey of research. It taught me a lot of integrity. It taught me to not lose myself while I'm searching for my goal. Not lose my principles, my values, or morals, or to not compromise with all these things when I am on a journey to reach my goals. This is very important. And, right now, my learning process has not stopped and it will never stop. For any of us, it will never stop till the end of our life. Even now, as an entrepreneur, I'm learning how to make Instagram videos for the first time, coming from a research scientist background. It is very new for me how to make Instagram reels, videos, how to edit videos, voiceovers, all these things with softwares. I'm learning. It is quite interesting. Everything is interesting in life when you start learning with full focus. So, why I'm learning all these things, you can even say, I can also say because, I don't have the resources to outsource this job to anybody else. And also, difficult times in your life and times where you don't have money or comfort zones actually teach you good lessons in life. And they uh, after like 5 to 6 years, you'll actually be very thankful to these difficult situations that have given you priceless experiences. So when I want to conclude this speech by saying that, having goals and ambitions and dreams are important, okay, fine, but more important thing is, you being a human with integrity. Hold on to your principles and never compromise on your principles, values, morals, and ethics on your way to your destination. So ask yourself questions at every point of time, whys and why nots, and hold on to your integrity. All the best for your future. Thanks.